Hey everyone, welcome back to Tacos Bee Casa. Today we have a special episode out of cycle because we're not going to be talking about bees. We're going to be talking about what's just came in the mail in this special box right here. Well, maybe you can hear them talking. That's right. Today we're going to be talking about baby chicks. This probably be the only time I do it. I may put some chick roll in some of my bee videos, but I'm just excited to get them. We've had chickens for many years, and then last year the foxes got all of our chickens, so we're finally restarting it. So I'm going to go over a couple of things in this video to include what's required to raise baby chicks, including the brood box, and everything that goes inside. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that it is a just a tub that I got from Home Depot. It's a 55-gallon tub, I think, for these. This is a smaller batch of chickies. I think I've only got 9. I've got 8 chickens and 1 rooster. The chickens that we have are golden buff or sex link, and they're considered a heavy layer. And the ones that we've had in the past have been just that. They typically lay about 300 to 320 eggs a year for each one. So here is a brood pad, and it acts like the mama. Underneath that pad, it's about 100 degrees, which is where you want it, because that's what they're going to need to survive for the next couple of weeks. And then I have my thermometer in there just to kind of monitor everything. And then obviously we have the no spill food and the water. Now, one thing I like to do with the water, the chicks are very inquisitive, but they're not very smart. So what I like to do is I like to take some marbles from my wife's vase inside the house, clean it, sanitize it, and put that in there because the chicks will literally drown themselves. It's kind of a weird phenomenon. I don't know why they do that, but they get their beaks in there and then they can't get out for some reason, even though it's as shallow as it is, and they'll drown. So to prevent that, I use marbles from my wife's vase. Now, other people just use gravel from their driveway or whatever, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like it because, you never know what chemicals are in your driveway. Even though it's your driveway, sometimes the city comes by and they spray for mosquitoes or whatever. Just, I don't like it. So one thing I don't have in here yet is chick grit. So the chicks will eat the food and it goes into their throat. It's called a crop. And they eat the little grit. It's just little tiny pieces of rock. And that acts as kind of like their teeth. It chews it up even further so that their stomachs can digest it. So without further ado, let's get these girls out and get them home. And dude, there's one dude in there. So there we go. There's our 9 baby chicks. Now that lighter one right there, that is the rooster. You can tell because he's lighter than the others. So, and see how they're kind of huddled together? They're cold. They've been in the mail system for a day. They were literally born yesterday. So at this point in their life, they can't say, I wasn't born yesterday, because, yep, you were. You were born yesterday, girls. So we're going to get them out. You'll see that they're packed in this. By the way, I got this from Meyer Hatchery. They're in Ohio. I've done business with them several times in the past, and they've always delivered a good product. The baby chicks have never shown up with one dead, although that can happen and it is kind of normal. I've never had that experience with them, so I use them over and over. And the one thing I'll do is I'll take this pad out because it has their smell on it, and I'll put that under the brooding pad just to kind of give them a little bit of something, familiar, something that they're kind of been used to for the past day and a half. The other thing I use, excuse me, the other thing I use is pine shavings. I use the coarse cut pine shavings. Some people use fine cut. I don't like the fine cut as much because they eat it, and while it doesn't hurt them, this thing it's going to have their poo in it and all that stuff. So I don't really want them eating all that. So I use the coarse cut, and then every week I'll put a new layer of pine shavings on there. And they'll be in here for probably about 4 or 5 weeks until they feather out. And then we'll take them out to the chicken yard, which is right next to the bee yard. And Meyer actually sent me another thermometer, so I may figure out a way to hang that, because I usually leave this old candy thermometer in there because it's just what I use. But this one's kind of nice. Good job, Meyer Hatchery. Thank you. One thing I will also mention is the water. I try to keep the water in about half the food out of direct view of the light, just because I don't want the water to get hot. I want it to be kind of a normal temperature, so we keep that out of the heat. So let's go ahead and start releasing them. What we're going to do, we're just going to kind of pick them up gently and set them down. And the ones that come to me naturally, in my experience with past chickens, will be the ones that will come to you most readily when they get to be older. And they typically tend to be the leaders because they're usually the most curious. The ones that are the scaredest are the ones that will be lower on the pecking order, as it were. And they've already, even though they're a day old, they've actually already started establishing a pecking order, which is amazing. And they're very curious. Once I get this box out of here, they're gonna start exploring around, start pecking around. And if they don't find the water right away, one thing you can do is literally take one of them like this and dip their beak in the water. Now, what's gonna happen is she's gonna teach all the rest of them where the water is. See? She's like, wait a minute, you got water on your beak. Where'd you get that? And she's like, over here, I'll show you. And this is pretty normal right here. They're huddled up. It's just because they're cold. They'll get warm once they get acclimated. The heat lamp is throwing down. Where I have it situated right now, it keeps it right between 98 and 100 degrees. And like I said, once they find their way underneath the brood pad, they will have plenty of heat. And it'll be just like being underneath their mama's wings when she gathers them up. All right, so there you have it, folks. My new baby chickens. I can anticipate one of the questions already is, how come you don't use newspaper or any other type of bedding? You can, and some people do. I don't like using newspaper because it prevents splayed foot, which is a problem that they can develop when their grip it's just too smooth, and when it gets wet, from their feces or from spilt water or whatever, it's just not good. You want to keep their feet. Let's see if I can see it. Keep their feet just about in that situation there. If they start getting all splayed out, two on one side, one way on the other side of their toes, it's just not good, and it'll end up killing them. So I use the pine shavings. But anyway, like I said, that's it. I want to thank everyone for being here, and tune in on Sunday for our next bee video. And yeah, these girls are going to grow really fast. You'll see. I'll give you periodic updates during the bee videos, but this will be the only one where I do it exclusively on the chickens. So thanks for being here. And with that, Taco out.